Martin O'Neill has hit back at Ali McCoist's claims about the fixture list, and he made some very interesting points. We've also got a Celtic player sending a big dressing room message ahead of the run-in, the fans collective making a major move on season tickets, and a shock U-turn from a big pundit who was criticising Celtic just days ago. Big show today. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Viljami Sinisalo has spoken out about the mood inside the Celtic dressing room as the title race reaches its most critical stage, and his message was a confident and direct one. The Finnish goalkeeper has become a key figure in Celtic's run-in after stepping in when the team needed stability at the back. He was there at Dens Park when Iheanacho's late winner kept Celtic's title hopes alive, and he has been calm and composed throughout a period where the margins have been razor-thin. In an interview on the Celtic FC podcast, Sinisalo laid out exactly how the squad is approaching what lies ahead. 6 league games left, a Scottish Cup semi-final to come against St Mirren at Hampton on the 19th of April, and every single point carrying enormous weight. He said, we've got 6 league games left and hopefully a few more in the Cup, and you've got to go and try and win them one by one. I'm loving it. It's what you want to do. One game at a time, get down the tunnel and go again the next week. It's what Celtic do. You can't question the mentality of the group or the changing room. That last line is the one that stands out. You cannot question the mentality of this group. That is a player who has complete belief in the squad around him, and that kind of confidence matters when you are chasing a title against the clock. Games at this stage are not won on paper. They are won by teams who want it more and refuse to buckle under pressure. Sinisalo is sending a clear message that this Celtic dressing room is exactly that kind of group. Saturday against St Mirren at Celtic Park cannot come soon enough. Now for the main story, as Martin O'Neill has fired back at Ali McCoist's claims about Celtic's post-split fixtures, calmly dismantling the argument and pointing to the real reasons behind how the schedule has been put together. McCoist had been making noise on TalkSport about Celtic having 4 of their last 6 games at home, including both the Rangers and Hearts fixtures. His claim was that it had fallen very nicely for Celtic and given them a significant advantage in the run-in. O'Neill faced the question directly on Thursday and was having none of it. He explained that the reason the fixtures have landed this way comes down to simple league mathematics. Every club in the division plays 19 home games and 19 away games across the full season. Celtic had already played both Rangers and Hearts away before the split, which meant the return matches had to come at Celtic Park afterwards. That is how a league works. He also pointed to something that rarely gets mentioned. There is an organised march in Glasgow in the early part of the post-split period, which means the Rangers fixture could not be scheduled in its usual earlier slot. That pushed everything along and led to the fixtures falling the way they have. O'Neill told TalkSport, "No, that's the draw. Generally speaking, when I was manager here before, the Celtic versus Rangers game is one that's played relatively early in proceedings. There's a reason why that can't happen. I think there is some sort of march taking place in Glasgow in the early parts of the split, so the Rangers game fell into the middle. I think that's the reason, and subsequently the Hearts game falls into the last match. You would have to ask the SPFL. The very fact we have 3 at home because we need to have 19 home and 19 away games, I think that's the only way they could have done it. That is the clearest possible explanation. There is no favoritism, no luck, just the basic structure of a 38-game season evening itself out." O'Neill also made a pointed remark that worth noting. He added that Celtic might even be out of contention by the time they face Hearts on the final day. That shows a manager who is not getting ahead of himself and is taking this one game at a time. The first task is Saturday. In other news, Simon Jordan has made a significant U-turn on his earlier comments about Celtic's post-split fixture schedule, admitting that his first take missed some important details. Earlier in the week, Jordan had described Celtic as having been, in his own words, bloody lucky to have both their old firm rivals coming to Celtic Park in the run-in. He framed it as though the fixtures had fallen perfectly for them and given them an unfair edge. Having had time to look at it more carefully, Jordan came back with a very different view. He acknowledged that Celtic had already faced both Rangers and Hearts away from home before the split, which meant the home return legs were simply a matter of the league balancing out. It was not luck, it was arithmetic. He said on TalkSport, That's a matter of fact because they played them away twice, so I understand it better than my original observations. The interesting thing is that Celtic could either anoint themselves Rangers or Hearts on the last game of the season, so it is really a double-edged sword for them. They have the two rivals at home, which is a massive advantage, and obviously they have played them twice away in the regular campaign before the split, so it's just equalising that up. Even if they are out of contention, they could still be the gatekeeper for one of the others, which is the lesser evil. They aren't going to let anybody win. In other news, the Celtic Fans Collective have released a major statement urging supporters to delay their season ticket renewals until the absolute last possible moment as a show of strength against the board. The message comes with the Green Brigade set to return to the North Curve this Saturday against St Mirren, which is expected to lift the atmosphere at Celtic Park significantly. The collective have been careful to separate their support for the players from their ongoing frustration with those running the club behind the scenes. The statement made clear that matchday protests have been scaled back while the title race is alive and that the focus must be on backing the team. But it also made clear that the issues have not gone away. The statement named both Michael Nicholson and Chris McKay directly, calling for their removal, and described the season as one defined by failed transfers, disastrous managerial appointments, and the mistreatment of supporters. The Celtic Fans Collective said, "With season book renewals to be released in the coming weeks, we are asking supporters to withhold their renewals until the final day possible. This is a simple way to send a clear message to the current custodians of Celtic Football Club that fan anger over this season is not limited to a small minority. A huge swathe of the support has had enough and is demanding change. We urge all fans to loudly and colourfully back the team as they push for the title and the Scottish Cup." Lastly, Martin O'Neill has spoken openly about Celtic's league position and the challenge ahead as the split approaches, and his honesty about where the team currently stands was refreshing. O'Neill was speaking on TalkSport and made no attempt to dress up the situation. Celtic are still chasing. They are not in control of their own destiny in the same way Hearts currently are, and he knows it. But he also made clear that the late win at Dens Park on the 5th of April was absolutely critical. Had that result gone the other way, the gap would have opened up and the conversation would look very different today. He said, "I think our result against Dundee last week keeps us in it. Had we lost that game, it would have been a long way back for us, but we're still fighting strongly at this minute. We have this split now where we play Rangers and Hearts, and they play each other as well. The other games are pretty difficult. We've got Falkirk at home, we're away at Hibs, and away at Motherwell. These are strong sides, so it's going to be exciting." That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.